Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce, a TT wedding today and tomorrow, and the MSG, the monosodium glutamate, or the stadium glutamate, is lining up in one way, shape, or form. And we might see that Salt and Pilher session for that iodine where she just blacks out, or we might get that mono where one of them has to come alone because the other one got too trashed the night before and whatever else. But we'll see how these things work out. It might be one of them shortest weddings in a way, but that TT, the 2020 vision, and the 2-2 clocks is being announced with this. And then you also have the 20-year, 11-month, 19th day attaching to tomorrow, the MSG event for the wedding crasher, the wedding crash here, and the Cosmos and all those things. And then the Cosmos, that can be tying into your spike proteins in a way for your Novavax, and the mRNA is tied into another one, another symbiotics. But that House of Usher, her, and whatever may be lining up in this stadium. But the House of Usher and all those things be lining up as far as your censorship and the rod and clay and all those things coming into a view. And that's where you're shown the eclipse in a way, and these files and whatever else, having the black bars. Well, they're being released, but they're not being released and whatever. So that's where you're under an eclipse and you're given the full light. So you get to see all this kind of stuff. And they're being shown that these things can be, these black bars can be taken out through Photoshop and whatever else. So this is also where you get a deception and whatever else, where they can show this, and then you go into where it really says, and it's an oh shit moment. And this is where one has to do good to do, or one has to do bad to do good. And that's where you have Epstein Island, but then somebody found out about it, or they found out about something, then they created Epstein Island. So there's like blackmail against blackmail. Mad Magazine, you're in that Nicolas Maduro session. The Mad Magazine's white spy versus black spy. They're holding two different types of bombs, but they're both bombs, or one's a bomb, one's a dynamite. So the dynamite's going to attach to your Napoleon, the Elon. So the Elon Musk attaches you to your Grok and helping launch 2,000 missiles on the Iran areas. So that's all this different moonlight and sunlight as the eclipse session. The dark sun, the Obama, that's on one light. And then the Biden reflecting light is the full moon in a way. You have your waning and waxing. That's going to be tied to your Kamala. And then your Obama, your maiden voyage is going to be tied into your maiden son, or the May Musk and the Elon Musk, or some secret sons and those types of things. The threesome being mentioned with his boys and whatever else, that can be tying into the 6-7 age, and or the 6-7 stuff. And then trumpets, or the Pence is 6-7 now. So either way, so all these things, the censorship, the nuclear images, the negatives, the AI photos, the doctored photos, all those kinds of things to be coming out in one way, shape, or form. And then you have your purple party being announced with the Tucker Carlson. Tucker is attached to the third headlight, attaches into your Lebowski, attaches into your Jeff Bridges, the bridge, that's the bridge on the train, the DeLorean, the rollover crash, all those types of things. So as a silver lining, the Justin Sun shining lights against Trump and the WLFL, or FI, whatever it is. That I say the FL because it's tying into your Florida and your DeSantis and your incubation, and where they can hit Miami and take out the whole Gulf of America, because Elon Musk said it's hard to move water. So you got to move the land and then move the water. And that's tying into your oil and the highlights and all that stuff as far as your Hawaii session. And if Hawaii pops and it rings out like a bathtub around the ring of fire. So, the all these things are all just going together as you're in that second coming of Adania, and the tribulation is over. So now the great tribulation is setting up, and that's where you see these things happening on the West Coast, and now they're going into the middle of America and the East Coast, and it's going to be some mirror flip-flop things or whatever. Okay, so as you have the food banks, after-school programs, and the hospitals being announced, as far as that the donations takes you into the baker session, the Slovani and the slow oven, and then the dojo, the G.I. Joe, knowing is half the battle. So as the dark sun and the moonlight, the eclipse birth, this is where you're going to have this dark sun here, and then, but this, like a physical side, and then a spiritual dark sun that is tied to a secret family. If Biden or Trump or both of them or whatever have a secret black family or whatever's kind of going on, white family, Chinese family, maybe all of them. And then this is also where you can see maybe some twin brothers, paternal or twin or identical or whatever. And the identical, bidentical, this is where Biden probably has a twin, but this is where a set of twins could marry twins, and to where you can have people have kids and they look like twins, but they're not twins. And this is where we're being told that the people get their looks from the dad and all these other things. So this is where we're starting to put different pieces of the puzzle, and where we're told that they have the genetics now are able to splice 3 parents. So this is where somebody was the original offspring of these tests, right? So as the original offsprings of these tests, Elon Musk could be an example of that, because he's just some made up fictional character. When you go back and read his story or whatever, it's all been broken down by other people, but it is 100% bullshit. Just like he sent you to Tesla in the space. It's so fake, it must be real. All right? So that's exactly what they're doing now on a mass level, and that's where you go down to SpaceX when they're doing their little construction, and the rockets look like me and my buddies built them on the fucking weekends. All right? And they're all dinged to hell. They ain't going to fucking space, I'll tell you that. So either way, you're given over to the delusion of the Abaddon and the Apollo mission, all right? And that's your Revelation 9/11. That's where your alien cover-up, your 1947 is here to your 47 presidency, and your 1948 to the 48, the 49 to about ding, ding, ding to the 49. See all these things stacked up in our reality, and we can put together some easy clocks now and understand these things as your 48th presidency comes in and traps Israel as he creates a new Israel. And that's where you have the aliens and the lion, and the lion attaches you to the devil, who attaches you to the and the lion attaches you to the tribe of Judah and those things. So that's where you have your hallway of mirrors, your 11, and you've been taught this, that, and the other, but it's actually just a mirror reflection. Jesus and Satan, one holds the truth, one holds the lie. One is right hand, left hand, okay? We're mostly right-handed, but left hand, oh, I can write with my left hand, but can you? Right? So that's where we're at on a simple frame, okay? So you're going into this. You've been here. Going into that, that's where Elon is, and then you're on the high stakes where he's not mentioned on the second peak. On the Tri-Lion, and then the Tri-Lion, the Trillion, and the 815, 50, Melania being 55 for 110, 111 days on the 815 day of the high stakes meeting with Putin. In the Gulf of America, the hole-in-one. And the 815 breaks down to the 7-4 and 7-6 and whatever on your adding, subtracting, and whatever else. But and then on a long count, you can add all those up, and then you get into your 8, your 9, your 9 plus the 15, 14. So all these stacks from here to there, as these clocks are lining up, the 8, the 9, and the 14, That is going to be tying into your 48 clock, your 89 clock for your Back to the Burn on America. And that's what we've been seeing. And then your 90 for your part 3, the Wild Times, and those types of things. Either way, y'all. And then your 7273, the Live Dragon Overhang with Bruce Lee is today and tomorrow with the TT wedding, and the TT's tied to your double cross. And the double cross can be lining up with Kim Jong-un attacking Israel, and then we attack Iran, and then the auto mechanism with the China Mecca, where China attacks us, and all these little things. But this is where it's coming, boom, 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 and the 25 carries over. We're in the 25 of 9/11 coming up this anniversary. The 250 of America is 7/4, so that's the crowning of the corona, cracking open, and all those things as you have that symbiotics going on in the Superman session, going up into space and falling back down to the earth as the Ultraman and the Venom, the mechanical Venom and shit all starts going down his throat and into the lungs, and that's where you did all that and whatever else. So either way, man, it all goes together. So Kim Jong-un called the Little Rocket Man, and then this is supersonic speeds just now mentioned over America. Iran has the supersonic missiles. Trump did the talk with the AI Theodore Roosevelt about the Panama Canal. The Panama Canal is coming up on some clocks. I did a post on those. But the Panama Canal was mentioned with Iran like a year or two ago. Them being able to pass through the District of Columbia with the Petro Gustavo. They could have dropped some shit off there or whatever. And we got the Shannon bomb for the Mexico down there, and the Incuban Nation, the Cuba with the Russian subs, all these types of things. And you got the spy satellites in the Gulf we've been told about, spy satellites off the West Coast, all these little things going on, right? So this is where you can have your hidden sub inside the Houston ports or inside Hudson Bay or whatever else, the Gulf of California. That's a little water dragging down there on the peninsula, and then the circumcision on the wiener of Florida. That's where you move the waters in Miami. And that's where Trump is saying he's going to take over Cuba on another level. But that's where Elon Musk said it's hard to move water, so you bomb the tip of Florida, and then you move the whole fucking Gulf, and you can cause a wave up the whole East Coast and whatever else. The Atlantic Ridge, the volcanoes have been popping off or whatever. It's where you get a wave. You can get 1,000-foot wave on the East Coast or 1,000-foot wave on the West Coast with Hawaii popping off or Tokyo popping off or whatever session, okay? All these things are stacking up. All right, we are in these little clocks now, and the Ring of Fire's been popping off, and the Burn on America is taking place. And either way, so the foil, the highlights, the silver lining, the getting the foil ready, the split, the banana split. We're in the 17th month. The Justin Sun with the WLFI or WLFL, the Dawn's Light. You can be going against that. That's where you get the Rise of Tron and the T-Rex in another way. Trump has this T-Rex over here, and you're going to have the Justin Sun T-Rex over there, where you have the Dawn's Light here, this bulb, but this new bulb is coming in to shine a light on this old system and those types of things. So that's where you get a money exchange program through the Justin Sun here, the Iran, the Tim Walz, Gavin Newsom, Kamala, Doug Emhoff, all these little money exchange programs as you have this twin or this set of triplets or whoever all married. Okay, so, and then also you have it where somebody, they like had a business with their brother or sister or whatever, and then somebody found out about it, and then now they're going to rat it out and those types of things. Okay, that's where we're seeing like on the rip. And then where the so-called Crime Stoppers, all these things are like all going into one way, shape, or form, but on the world stage platform. That's where you get your Charlie Kirk and your Erica Kirk and the Black Widow and Trump and all those things being interwoven together, and why she got this position over here and whatever else. But so as you're going on the figure 8 on the Artemis 2 mission and going around the moon mission, we're on the 8th year of the woman clothed in the sun. 923 marks the 9th year. So this is where the sunlight and all these things are starting to shine and get brighter, and you can track these in with like the daylight hours starting at the midnight or the high noon and those types of things, as far as year sequences and your Chinese calendar from dragon to dragon, snake to snake, those types of things. So the things I told you about, where we're attacked and then he attacks somebody else and then it's the wrong person, all those things, that can all be lining up very easily with this Kim Jong-un, Iran, Brazil, Venezuela, Colombia, Cuba, all these types of things. So the hypersonic missiles, the Knuckles, the Shadow, all these interwoven with the crossover DC universe, and the DC universe crossover to the Marvel. That's where you have the Superman going into the symbiotics with the mechanical Venom. I forget her name, but anyway, she's with the Ultraman. But that's where it's all going in, and the mechanical Venom is tied into your phone and frequencies you're getting and the symbiotic stuff, and where you have this, you had that, and then you're eating or drinking or spraying or putting on or whatever kind of that thing, and it's all a symbiotic relationship where it all works together. So that's like the Holy Trinity, and that's tied into the 3R1 as far as your calculator. You have your period and then your circle next to each other, little blank space, and it goes up to the 3 and the 3R1, and that ties into the boom, the multiplication for the birth, and then you go into the 3, and then the 2, and then the 1, and then the 4. All right, so either way, that ties into the black hole stuff. The black hole stuff is be tying into all your censorship and all that stuff coming into full light, letting you know the dawn and whatever else. But this is where they do this, right? And then 6 months later, 2 years later, whatever, they get rid of that. And then that's where he has to go under he has to go into the hell and all that, be buried, so to speak, and then come out on the other side and rise. So that's where you get your oh shit moment to the oh shit moment to the oh shit moment. The oh shit moments are tied to the ships for the Mayflower and that maiden voyage, for the voyage of the Mimi and the Ben Affleck being taken back to those Challenger explosion, and the other Batmans, as you have a bunch of Batmans and all those breaks off into different segments of the Matrix and whatever else, in your time of affliction, and whatever else that we gotten into long time ago, folks. And then he's married to the Jen Garner, the Elektra. The Elektra ties to the electronic age. The Tron ties into your Justin Sun and the T-Rex, and the T-Rex battle on your Ice Age and whatever else. So, just get ready, folks. That's all I got to say. Get ready.